Hello, this is the Green Corn Rebellion Show. And today I am here with Angela Fulco, who runs the YouTube channel What Do You Mean? And where she does art and talks about Australian politics. And also, she ran for a seat in the Australian House of Representatives in 2019 in the division of Sturt. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Glad to have you. I believe you're the second international guest I've had on my show.
Woo!
So it's really cool. Um, so yeah, so first question is where are you from and where'd you grow up at?
Um, South Australia, like this house here is like I've been here since I was like 2 years old. Um, I haven't grown out of drawing on the walls. Um, and yeah, I've always been in South Australia. And yeah, capital city Adelaide, which I don't expect anybody to already know.
No. So what made you interested in politics?
Um, well, other than the whole like mid-apocalypse thing we're sort of dealing with, um, just sort of grasping the understanding on that sort of how we structure a society.
Hmm.
And with all the things wrong with it, if you want to try and fix it, it's probably a good place to start.
Yeah.
And I felt like I owed it to everyone that had to put in the hard yards and sacrifices to make it so I can vote, being female and all that. And uh, yeah, just, I don't know, I didn't like too many TV shows.
All right. So what made you start your YouTube channel?
Um, well, like I started doing things like reading the like Australian federal budget and just like really normal things like that. And I would find things and I'd just be like, what do you mean we're not gonna have any money for natural disaster relief? This is Australia. What do you mean that's zero? And yeah, just any time a politician would open their mouth, I'd be like, what? Why? And yeah, now we're here.
Hmm. And you're also you've done, I don't know how many you've done. You've done several TikToks, and those are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, like 150 of them already. And I was like, oh God, what am I doing with my life?
How long have you been doing like TikToks and stuff? Because that's relatively new, right?
Yeah, I made like one because I saw someone else do it, and I thought I can do the same thing, but about like my state because they did one for Queensland. I was like, I can do the same thing. We'll make a trend. We go like, just like dunking on Australian politics via TikTok. And then when I realized that, yeah, there's a lot of people on there, and if I can get something down to 60 seconds and explain it, then I'm pretty sure then I can make it so most people can understand it. And it's a good tool for my cause of bringing politics back to the people. I was thinking about maybe I had it over Christmas, so that's when I was actually using it. I had it there with one TikTok on there for about 2 months as well, and so yeah, about not no longer than 6 months, I'd say.
All right. Um, so what made you run for office?
Oh, well, I was in my hotel room in New York and I was like, wow, it's just messed up everywhere. And if like these people can make it here, then there really is nothing stopping me from making it back home. And my seat had old mate C Pine, Christopher Pine, who was our Minister of Defense or something at the end of his career, but he was in the seat for 26 years, so like longer than I was born. And his track record's pretty horrendous. Yeah, he's got a very long list of horrible policy positions, and he retired
Hmm.
to probably become some consultant or lobbyist somewhere for someone. And I thought of all the times this would be my best chance because I would have to go up against the newbie for their party. And yeah, just had enough of it. And I figured if like they let me into the house, oh man, I'm just gonna be kneecapping people, verbally kneecapping everybody. And yeah, I thought, why not?
All right. Let's see here. So, what's currently going on in Australia? Like, are we gonna have
Oof.
to call? Like, are we gonna have to call for a complete and total shutdown of Australia, or do you know what's going on?
We have, well, the fires have sort of calmed their shit a little, but that's mainly because rain and then therefore floods. So it's like January, we're on fire. February, we're underwater. So yeah, March will be fun. That's just weather wise. That's just the climate sort of coming after us. We have ministers dropping out left, right, and center because of all different sorts of scandals and different corruption involving different aspects of the government. It's ridiculous. I actually just made a TikTok about it. And yeah, like the major hashtags, if you're on Australian politics, like Twitter, some basic staples would have to be Angus Gate. It's one guy who's done like 3, 4 different things to just either screw over the people or enrich himself. Um, Sports Raw, that's one of the most recent ones. So they've just like given out money to really prestigious golf clubs to get solar panels and such, and like their own like shooting clubs that they're members of, and then just going against everything that they're meant to do to mainly just pork barrel and get themselves votes in those seats. And Robodebt, the one that I'm most like passionate and pissed off about, because that's where they got a computer program to just sort of average out people's expected incomes and then send them all like notices saying that they owe a debt to the government from that time that they were receiving payments to just, because everyone needs a bit of a helping hand. And so they put the onus of proof on the person. So they went to them and go, prove to us that you don't owe this, rather
Oh
than, hey,
wow.
we can prove to you that you owe us this money. So, and then when you're going up against the government, it's like most people that needed a helping hand from Centrelink is what we call it, aren't the people that have like cash to then fight the government. So
Hmm.
they went for the most vulnerable and put the onus of proof on them. It's ridiculous because it's also like I hear people talking about it in their like in day-to-day lives because it's everywhere, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that what they did is illegal. They got what the government did. They shouldn't have done. Like, don't take it out on yourself. Like, this isn't any measure of you, because there are people like beating themselves up over it, thinking they've actually done something wrong. But I sort of explained to them, going, when you get yourself in debt, most people are aware of it. Like, you actually have that thing you purchased or that like education you got or whatever it is. This, they never told you that there was potential debt involved ever. So
Hmm.
it really can't be your fault. You didn't get to pick how much they gave you as a benefit. So yeah, my country's trying to copy yours pretty hardcore. Like,
um, let's see here. And okay, so another question I have is how exactly does your electoral system work? Because it seems like confusing to me. Because
uh,
you have like you have a House of Representatives and a Senate like we do, but like it's also called a parliament.
alrighty. Good
And
thing I was brushing up on this today.
does do the House and the Senate function in the same way that the House and the Senate does in America, or does like the Senate function kind of like the House of Lords in the UK? But how does that work?
um, well, I figured you can sort of draw parallels with like all of them. Um, but like because Australia is different to you guys in the sense where we are what is it, a constitutional
Constitutional
monarchy?
monarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, because we still have old mate Lizzie on all of our money and stuff, and we have the is it the Governor General? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a governor general, which is meant to be like the representation of the Queen in our government, since we're on the other side of the world of the actual Queen.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Senate. I like lapse how many senators we have. I think it's 6 per state, 2 per territory, and then I think we've got 151 House of Representative members, with each state having different numbers because we have most of our population on the East Coast. And yeah, pretty much, they pass a bill back and forth, vote on it, amend it, becomes a law eventually. Pretty similar, pretty much the same sort of thing as what you guys have got going on. But minus the election for a president, because they just pick their party leaders and boom, we have a prime minister.
Yeah, but I was about to ask that too, because here you could have the House and the Senate be different parties, and then the president be the party of one or the other. But there it kind of is, they can't have what is it? The prime minister is elected due to how many seats are won in the House and Senate.
The winning party with the most seats, or that can make a coalition with another party, because I don't think there is even a party in Australia that could dominate and have enough seats to be in power. I think that they always have to partner up with their other little sidekick.
Yeah.
We've got the Liberal Party and the Nationals, they're buddy, and then if the Labor ever needs anyone, then that's going to be Greens.
Right. And then in Australia, the Liberal Party is the right-wing party, because it's not liberalism in the way of what would, I guess we could call it, social liberalism. It's more of economic liberalism, correct? That's what the name is referencing.
Yeah, it's like the way they were selling it to people was sort of like, don't pick socialism, pick liberalism. Woo.
Yeah. Let's see. So if the prime minister resigns, the party has to vote on who takes their place. The party in power has to vote on who takes their place, correct? That's how that works.
Yeah. We even just had, the other day they were talking about a leadership spill because of all the scandals and all the swapping out because people just aren't fit to be there and yada yada. But it was the ongoing joke where we just sort of had more prime minister changes than some people have had hot dinners, and it's probably.
So the first time I was ever kind of interested in Australian politics, or even heard anything to do with Australian politics, was a few years ago. I was watching John Oliver. He did some story about Tony Abbott, who was the current prime minister at the time. And I don't remember the details of the story, but basically the way that John Oliver kind of made him out to be, he was kind of really stupid, and he was kind of like y'all's George Bush, because at the time we had George Bush as president, and he was our dumbest president. And so could you talk about him and who he was?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot to say about Tony Onion eating Abbott. I have a lot to say about him. All right, that's probably where some of my political drive came from, because that guy, when I was an apprentice, before I could even vote, and I was just, going to work with my dad, learning how to tile, and the election was coming around, and I just kept hearing, oh yeah, I gotta go vote for Tony Abbott, gotta vote for him. He's gonna help our apprentices. I've got one of them. That's you, me. Yeah. And how's he gonna help us out? He's gonna give us money. And it's but we already get a tool allowance. Are they gonna take my tool allowance? Yeah, no, but you're gonna be able to get a $20,000 loan. Now, young little teenage Ange was still like, all right, old man, money for free, money you have to pay back. Is this really even a fucking question?
Mm-hmm.
And he duped a lot of people. We actually sold that to a lot of people. We're like, yeah, I'll do that. I'm like, why? why would you want to get money you have to pay back versus money you never have to pay back? And I lost, like, I think I was still due to get like 5, 6 grand because I was like halfway through my apprenticeship. And like every year you get like X amount of tool allowance, which would you use for tools? Me and everybody I knew at my trade school, we ended up just showing each other, look at this. Look at this drill I got. Look at this sponge I got. It's like, now it's like no one is going to go for that loan. If I don't know if that was what they intended, was to just make everyone just scared of it, or actually then just try to get us hooked, suck our money back. They're like, oh, it will be interest free for X amount of years. Like, and that was Tony Abbott's idea. And just for the fact that something that screwed me over is one of his ways he tried to sell the election to tradies. Oh, mate. And that's just me personally. That's my personal beef. He did horrible things through and through, but yeah, especially he just said even really stupid, horrible things. I was like, like my favorite thing I probably never forget, which is just so offensive and just absurd. He's like, oh, I went to a Catholic school, but maybe I was just too ugly. In like reference to like, oh, he was never molested, so he doesn't know what everybody's complaining
Ooh.
about. It's like,
Oh my God.
what? You're the Prime Minister of Australia, mate. Like, can you not? But yeah, that's why that's one's gonna stick in my memory. Where it's like, yeah, nah, Tony Onion eating Abbott. Yeah, he lost in the last election. He lost his seat, and you gotta take the little wins when you get them, I guess.
Okay, so you call him onion eating Abbott. Well, what's the onion eating part?
Because he
What's
ate
that
an
about?
onion. That was like his thing. There's heaps of pictures of him just eating a raw onion, and yeah.
What the heck? Oh my God. Um, so, what is it? So, like the liberals, when was there ever another party in charge? The liberals have been in charge for a long time now, haven't they?
Oh, we had Labour not long ago. Like Julia Gillard, our first female prime minister. What was that? 2013? Don't quote me. If any Australians are watching this, don't quote me. But yeah, but then that was a whole nother back and forth between leaderships between Julia Gillard and Kevin Rudd.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, well, like they couldn't have always have been in power because they only like sort of were created in 1944, where Labor's been around since 1902. So yeah, oh yeah, and then John Howard, when then that was like from when I was born to like when I finished primary school. Yeah, old mate, eyebrows, war criminal, stop the boat people. That yeah, it's Australia is just like a mini everywhere else. We
Mm-hmm.
just try to do what you guys do and see if it will fly.
Um, in the US, we have like an
Oh,
insurgent.
oh,
What's up? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just thought something about John Howard just because it's like you're
Go ahead.
American.
Yeah.
Um, like uh, demonized not even immigrants, refugees, people that needed help, and like you know wasn't great for the economy, war criminal. But still, when we had a mass shooting here, he was like, nope, what do you need an AR-15 for? None of that, no more of that, thank you very much. And then
Mm-hmm.
everyone gave their guns in. They did a buyback, and people still have guns. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
just need a safe for them. And we don't have this whole mentality of thinking, oh, someone's going to come and break into my house, and then what am I going to do? How am I going to shoot them dead? It's just we don't think anyone's going to be coming into our house because we didn't piss anybody off.
I know it's pretty wild here. Like I live in one of the red states here where it's like, like a gun haven essentially. Like we just got a I don't know what you guys' gun laws are, but like here in Oklahoma more specifically, we have permitless carry where you can pretty much just have a gun and like without any training or anything. You just have it and carry it. And we also have open carry. So like you could just carry it with you wherever you go, unless the restaurant or wherever private business you go says that you can't. So yeah, that's where I live at. It's like the wild fucking west out here. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're way like I mean, I will say definitely Oklahoma's far away from getting any kind of sensible gun laws passed. Like I would say even America, like something like a buyback, that's not going to happen anytime soon. We had a couple candidates run on that idea on the Democratic side. Even those candidates aren't running anymore. So like, yeah, like it's pretty crazy here. Oh my god. Yeah, you didn't do that whenever you came here last time, didn't you? Well, then again, you didn't come to Oklahoma, but still, pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
like, do you know how hard it was to find an insurance company that would I could buy travel insurance from that didn't like jack up the price for people that want to go to America? Like, I remember like buying insurance to go to Europe, and they're like, oh yeah, yeah, you're insured. Don't break your leg, you'll be fine. It's like then there was like the whole world sort of price where it costs to go like most places in Asia, Europe, and everywhere. Then there's all right, this costs a bit extra to go to a bunch of African countries and the United States of America because you got a higher chance of definitely dying. I'm like, oh, sweet, cool. But like Canada, cheaper. Mexico, cheaper. The
Oh
United
wow,
States, yeah, you guys are
you
like $10
serious?
to the $7 that it costs for like, the UK. And it's like,
Oh wow. Yeah, this place is a death trap, man. I'm surprised I'm still alive. I've made it to 22, and I plan on making it to as far as climate change will allow me to
yeah,
get.
yeah, word.
um, but no, in the U.S., we have an insurgent left wing figures such as Bernie Sanders, AOC, and the Squad. Do you guys have an analogous insurgent movement, left wing movement in Australia at all, or
Yeah,
any
yeah, me and my
analogous?
buddies, me and my progressive gang. It's like there's people in the Greens that are like solid people, and there's other little parties like there's solid people in like Centre Alliance and the real like niche parties, the real focus ones like Animal Justice and such. Like especially
Hmm.
when they're like yeah that you need the people really focused on certain things so certain things don't get forgotten. Um, yeah, there's a bunch of good people, but usually the good people aren't the ones with stacks of cash, and
Yeah.
like the shitty people with the cash are the ones that are just gonna be like, every ad break, you're gonna see my face. And then when it comes to an election, that's what people remember. The
Hmm.
face they saw the most of. Not whose policies they heard and what ones sound better, because you're not gonna hear any from the major parties. You're gonna be like, what? They
Hmm.
policies? What? You just remember because our elections, right? They get the faces of the people on these signs and stick them on every street sign and Australian election. Oh,
By the way,
it's just
how long do you guys have elections? Like, or is there like an allotted
oh, they're
time?
like that.
Really? Like, how
They're
many?
like that. Well, I ran my like I got myself on the ballot and I was one of the last people to like get my paperwork and everything through on time. And I did it with 41 days to spare till the election. And they took a while to even announce the actual date because they're trying to drag it out. Um, so, because I don't think you're really meant to start campaign too hard before the election's announced. I'm not entirely sure about that, but um, yeah, it's not long at all. The election was in like May, and you probably wouldn't have heard much about it until January once we've gotten past like New Year's and all that stuff. And we're like, okay, what's the next thing we're gonna do? Oh yeah, we're voting this year.
Hmm. And then in Australia, don't you guys have like mandatory voting or something like
Well,
that?
yeah, it's to the extent where like if you're enrolled and you
Hmm.
don't vote and you don't give a good enough reason as to or like give a reason as to why you didn't vote, you can get a fine. Um, which like $20 or something or whatever it is. Uh, which I've even gotten away with an excuse when I was a state election. I was like, I just missed it. I don't know. I slept through it or something. And got a letter being like, why weren't you there? And I was like, oh no. Uh, explosive diarrhea. And they let me off. So everyone
Okay.
can use that one. Don't if you really have to. I'm all for democracy, but you never know. You just gotta sleep sometimes. Now that's like when I was like fresh 18, and
Hmm.
you gotta give me some slack because I probably was hungover. Because we can drink at 18 here. We don't have to.
No,
It's weird. We still make a big deal about 21st, and we're all like, but why? I've already been going to nightclubs for like 3 years. And
I know,
yeah, another
right?
thing we took from your culture, we're like, but why do we do this?
No, see, what's worse is that here in America now, it's drinking at 21 and now cigarettes is 21 because
Mm.
they raised the age on that just last year. And it was 18. And the worst part about that is that the kids who were able to smoke at age 18 just 2 years ago, they're 19 and 20, they didn't get grandfathered in. So they're fucked. They have to cut
Mm.
cold turkey. And I'm just like, wow, this is like the worst thing our government has ever done to our youth. But like, yeah, like that's crazy. Because I know, like in some but no, back to the elections. I know in like some countries they have like an allotted amount of time that the elections are.
Hang on, hang on.
Yeah, what's that?
Hang on. So
Hmm.
you're telling me,
Hmm.
right, that the land of the free,
Mm.
like Capitalism HQ,
Yes.
made the decision to make it so that products have less customers and
Yes.
people have less freedom as to what they do with their body. Get out of town. But you guys always are stoking about your freedom and such, and capitalism being the bee's knees. That doesn't make sense. Whoa. Oh, ooh.
No kidding. And you know what's
Just
funny
saying.
about it? What's also funny about that is like some states they'll pass or they have passed like a cigarette tax for like our state tried to pass a cigarette tax for
Oh,
education. I think they ended up
oh
passing
yeah.
it, like a few cents or something like that. But I was always against it because of like, first of all, you're only going to hurt poor and low income people because you know that's the majority of people who are going to be smoking cigarettes anyway. Second of all, like that's like you're going to punish the poor people and it's not their fault that the state legislature can't fund education properly and fund the budget. And now, looky here, we passed that cigarette tax, and now less people can buy cigarettes. So what are we gonna do
Yes,
about
please. Sorry.
that? But yeah,
My dad just yelled at me, so um I yeah, oh, you're talking to an Australian. Like, have you our our cigarette tax, mate? Oh my goodness. Do you want to hear some numbers? I've got them right handy here, like written down. That's why I'm just like, oh, everything you're talking about, I seem to have just happened to have been looking up yesterday. But yeah, we take cigarette taxes to the next level. You've not seen taxes on anything like you've seen the way Australians like to tax cigarettes.
hmm
We have you do you guys no, you didn't when I was there. You still had packaging where it had the actual brand like label on there. Do you want to see one of ours? I'll show them because I got a packet right there. Wait right there.
sure.
Wait right there. This is probably where you guys are heading eventually. This is a cheap brand that's come out recently because whenever the taxes go up and they just release another brand to try and stay at the bottom again so people can afford a $20 pack of 20 cigarettes. We got old mate the baby, smoking harms unborn, but this is an Australian icon. This one here, if you're a good way to detect if someone's really Australian or not, be like, Brian? And he'll be like, did not die from smoking. I can tell you that much. Because this is what they try to sell us. It's like, this is Brian. That's
My
him
God.
16 weeks ago. That's him now. He's dead. I'm pretty sure they work. It's like they're not even the same people or some shit, but it's still on there.
Hmm.
And is I think it's pretty much down to now, where in like 1985, a packet of 25 cigarettes was $4.20 in
Hmm.
1985. All right, that same packet of cigarettes today, $22.
That's insane.
And yeah, for one of the things that are like, most addictive. It's really thoughtful. But hey, we're paying for the health system.
Let me see here. So tell me more about the political party that you're affiliated with.
The Australian Progressives are like kind of new on the scene. I think I'm one of the few members in my state. Everyone else that ran in the party all live on the East Coast, from like Queensland to Canberra. And so I say this, I expect you have no idea where any of this is. And our colour's purple. So when people, because there was a question we were like sort of bracing for, when people were like, oh, so you're with the Progressives, why didn't you go with the Greens? And just to be a smart ass about it, I'm like, I look better in purple than I do in green. And yeah, they're solid. They're 5 planks that we had for last elect, which I'm pretty sure are the same. We're like all solid. You can't really go wrong with like anti-corruption, equality, like just economic justice, not screwing the environment more. Yeah, just what we need and what the people want. It's very straightforward. That's why I was like, yeah, slam dunk. Sign me up. Hello, guys. I'm your new friend, Ange.
All right. Let's see here. And the last question I have here is, what kind of music do you listen to? Like, who are some of your favorite music artists?
Oh gosh. I listen to from like death metal to drum and bass and Australian hip hop. That is a real, acquired taste for sure. I listen to everything. My favorites, which I'll just pick like one of each random genre. I Killed the Prom Queen, Jam Baxter, and Nausicaa, which is drum and bass, a drum and bass duo. If I had to just, have an iPod with only 3 things on it, I guess I could live with that.
All right, that's cool. Who are some of the favorite bands that you've seen live?
Can you wait here a moment?
Sure.
1 second. I'll be back. I actually needed this so I could remember, because I'm old now. What have I got?
Oh, wow.
Well, Soundwave. Soundwave is a pretty good one. That has like, 100 or a couple, 100 plus bands go and tour Australia. So that's always that's ended now. What have we got here? Architects. That was a good show. Prom Queen, always. Rise Against was really good.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, Suicide Silence. Rest
Okay,
in peace.
when did you see Suicide Silence? Like, what year?
And I just realized, like, why can't I hear you? Oh, yeah, the earphone, duh.
What, what year did you see Suicide Silence?
2011.
Okay. So that was before Black Crown came out, right? Or was that the year Black Crown came out? Yeah, because trying to remember. Black Crown came out in 2012, so it was before Black Crown. Yeah, that's still cool though.
Well, yeah, I've done some stuff, man. I've done some stuff because these are like the ones, like the ticket stubs that survive that I actually managed to hold on to. And I'm just looking at it, it's like, wow, that's a lot of money in tickets. Like, hey.
I
And
know,
when I wonder
like,
why don't I have any savings? Oh, well, that's why. Good.
yeah, like you looks like you have. Well, you probably don't have this many, but like I remember, like when I was in high school, what I did was I mostly bought like CDs. Like I never saw any bands live when I was in high school. I just went and bought CDs and stuff.
Oh, oh, shit. Well, here in Australia, there's not much to do, especially in South Australia. So if one of your favorites is coming, you'd be mad not to go see them because
Yeah.
what the fuck else would you be doing?
hmm Yeah. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for coming on. Would you like, do you have anything you want to plug? Like your channel, and where can we find
Oh
you on
yeah,
social
yeah.
media? Yeah.
WDYM videos, all one word. The WDYM is capitals if you like, and that's the most straightforward way to find my channel. Because you're not going to search what do you mean unless you want all the Justin Bieber songs. So I found a shortcut.
All right. Thank you.
No, thank you.